Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to High Performance Trader, the YouTube channel that collects reliable data and builds profitable systems based off that data. I'm Joshua Salvetti, and before I was a day trader, I worked at a 5G telecommunications company. I worked for the research development where we studied radio frequency day in and day out. See, I worked for a company that built 5G antennas, and to create the best antenna, you have to do a lot of testing. You have to do a lot of measuring, and you have to measure radio frequency. Now, you know what's cool about radio frequency? You can't see it. It's literally the tiniest microscopic electrical current that creates a vibration that carries data in it. But you cannot see it, but you know it's there. How do you know it's there? Because the way you measure it, right? And that's what I want to break down to you today. I want to measure the trades that we take, right? I want to break down the strategy, and I want to show you how collecting data and building systems based off the data is going to propel you to consistent profitability, right? So anytime somebody submitted a test request, right, for us to properly complete the test, to give them the information that they were looking for, we had to become extremely clear with the testing required. So if you go to my website, you're going to see I present to you here a beautiful 3-step approach that literally takes less than 5 minutes to learn. But what makes my approach different is how clear it is, how simple it is. There's not a million different oscillators and indicators that are telling you to do this when this happens, right? It's very simple 3-step approach, and it's extremely clear. So go to my website, click this link right here, and more importantly, subscribe to these weekly data reports that we're going to review. I send these out to you directly to your mailbox for free, your email. So punch your email in here, and I'm going to send these to you completely for free, and they're going to change your life. Why? Let's go back, right? So when somebody submitted the test request to me, I needed them to become very clear, because 9 times out of 10 people have a goal in mind, but they're not going to get to their goal until they become very clear. And this is the same concept for most day traders. They want to become successful. They want to become profitable, but they don't have a clear way, a clear path to get them there. Think about it. If you were driving a car to a destination, but you had no lights on that car, there would be almost a zero chance that you would get to your desired location. The same goes for trading. You literally want to become consistently profitable. You want to make tons of money in the market. You want that freedom, but you have no pathway. So let me break down to you today in simple terms a pathway that's going to get you where you need to go. So before you, on the high-level summary, you're going to see the setup is the HPT crossover. The month tested is March. The win ratio is 79.60%. Now below this, you're going to see required specifications. This is where I become very specific on the pathway required to get me to my desired location. It needs to be off a critical level. This could be open print. This could be previous day high, low, open, or close, right? These are critical levels for a reason. The volume. It's excessive. Number 2, we need that moving average cross. This is the 5 and the 21 EMA. I love the EMA cloud. Why? Because it's simple. You literally get to see it go from green to red, red to green. Therefore, you know that somebody has just taken control of the market and they are now dominating the trend. Number 3, we need the RBI or the GBI entry criteria. This is paramount. This keeps you from trading bullshit trends in chop or traps that literally ruin your equity curve. It's paramount. It's critical. Each one of these trades happened before noon. That's 12 o'clock Eastern. And then the required price movement is $1 in the appropriate direction. So once again, it's very simple, but it's clear. It literally shines the bright light on the pathway to consistency. Why? Because we have a clear approach. It's not unique, right? It's not, it's not special, but it's clear and it's simple. And it is your pathway to becoming the trader that you've always wanted to become. So in the month of March, so far, we've taken 14 setups. 3 of them were non-profitable. but 11 of them work, giving us that 80% win ratio. Now, here's a beautiful example of it in front of us, and we're going to go over a bunch of them. But what I want to touch on real quick is the large data review. So going back to measuring radio frequency, to measure something that small and microscopic and to actually make sure that changes are taking place, you need a standard. Okay? A standard is your reference. So your DUT, your device under test, right? You would measure it. And then what we would do over in the lab is we would put it in an environmental test, right? This is either a chamber that gets extremely hot and cold. So we'd put the 5G antenna into the chamber. We had a salt fog machine, right? So that we would, put it in a salt fog environment for a very long time. And then we would measure these units after the environmental test, and then we would make sure that they still worked accordingly, that they still transmitted the electrical current, the radio frequency, the proper way. This is exactly what we're doing just with trades. We're literally taking a very specific approach and we're inputting it into an environment, which is the stock market, and then we're measuring the results after. It's literally the exact same process. But the important thing is that there is a process, that there is a system that generates a result. And that result currently over the last 7 months is an 81% win ratio. So if you click this, you're going to see these are all the trades that we've took for the month of March so far. I'm just going to go over last week's trades. But if you want these data reports, click the link below. Like I said before, I will send these to you on a weekly basis. And for the month of March, I'm offering 20% off our Discord group in Trader Bootcamp. Trader Bootcamp is a phenomenal online course made up of 21 mini courses that are going to propel you into becoming the trader that you need to become. So take advantage of that. Use promo code EXECUTE and you will get 20% off. All right, so the last 3 trades we took for the month of March, let's break it down. This is week 3. So the first trade that we took was 3/17/2025. So basically, once again, very simple approach, but when it does not present itself, it's for a reason. Notice here in the morning, price rallies off the open. We get no red bar that's ignored. So therefore, there's no trade. We actually got no moving average cross either. So therefore, there's no trade. We finally get a green bar here that was ignored. And I know it doesn't look like it, but at one point, this candle sold off below the previous one. We got in short. We put our stop loss where? Directly above the ignored candle. What does this do for us? Well, for starters, it makes it so we only ever risk 1 bar. What's a day trader's main issue? Well, his main goal is to manage capital. His main issue is that he loses too much capital. What if you had a system that was very clear and that when you entered a trade, your stop loss literally went directly above the previous candle? Well, that would make it so you only ever risk 1 bar. This is critical because when I'm losing trades, I'm literally losing 1 candle. Right? When I'm winning trades, I'm making 2 candles. I'm making 3 candles. I'm making 4 candles. So once again, risk reward is the most important part to trading, but most traders don't have a clear system to implement that makes sure under all circumstances they're sticking to a proper risk reward ratio. This is another reason why the HPT cross is so effective, and even beginner traders start seeing consistency their first week at our Discord because they're only ever risking 1 bar. 319. Beautiful setup. Price had that false break below the 50. Buyers showed up very strong. Notice the moving average cross. Notice the red bar ignored in long. Stop below it. Beautiful trade to the upside. And then on 3/20/25, we had very strong buying off previous day open print. You guys see that? Sells off into the pit number. We get tons of buying. Get the moving average cross, but we got no RBI literally until 10:05 right here, or 10:10. But you know what? We still took it. Why? Because we don't trade off emotion. We trade off the data. We trade off the system. We rely on the 80% win ratio. We don't rely on our gut. We don't rely on our emotion. We stick to the script. The script tells us, hey, if and when you get that RBI in a healthy trend, you take the market long. right? So it was it was a tough week. It was a very tough week, but it's to be expected because the 2 weeks before it were beautiful, right? So guys, get involved with HPT. We're going to teach you the systems. We're going to show you our habits. We're going to show you the patterns. We're going to get very clear on that pathway to get you to consistent profitability. I'm Joshua Salvetti. I hope you liked this lesson. Make sure you hit a like, subscribe for more content. Take advantage of that 20% off. Promo code EXECUTE. I love you guys. Let's crush it this week, and I will see you in the next lesson.